I'm Chris Upton. I'm a Fujifilm X photographer specialising in travel, landscape and reportage photography. I started using Fuji X cameras because I was looking for something that was smaller and lighter alternative to a bigger DSLR package. And the Fuji X-E1 came out and that really suited exactly what I was looking for. So for me it was small, it was light, it was robust, solid but not heavy. And I think the thing that's difficult to explain to anyone who's not actually used one, it's just the wonderful feel that you get from the Fuji X cameras. And it just felt right. And if I'm honest, my original plan was to use it as just almost as a backup, particularly for travel. But as soon as I used it and found that the quality was just so good that it equally matched what I'd got in a DSLR, I was then hooked. And actually then I've moved over to the X cameras exclusively. One of the key things for me was, and it was a real wow moment, was when I used the camera in JPEG. I first used it and always been shooting RAW and shot JPEG as well for the first time in quite a while, and I was absolutely blown away by the quality of the JPEGs. So much so that it's quite difficult sometimes to match the RAW with the quality of the JPEGs. So that was the first thing that convinced me that this image quality was absolutely what I was looking for. But the fact that the cameras themselves, the whole range is very small, it's robust, particularly for travel, where there are weight factors, particularly with travel flights, etc. It's really important, and certainly when you're lugging it around a city in the heat, it does make a hell of a difference. The range of lenses that Fuji offer really gives me everything that I need in terms of covering everything from wide-angle shots to fairly long telephoto zoom in 3 lenses, all really well made, work perfectly together. And a key factor really in travel photography is that, particularly for portraits, is that the system is quite unobtrusive. You don't feel that when you're photographing people that you are in any way intimidating them, which sometimes with a big DSLR that can be the case. So they relax, and as a result we get better pictures. So one of the real benefits, of course, with Fuji is the viewfinder. The viewfinders are fantastic, so big, so bright, unbelievably bright, lots of information in there which is customizable. And one of the key things is the live histogram, which works either looking on the screen or through the viewfinder. So you see, looking through the camera, exactly what you're going to get, which is fantastic. That really comes into its own when you're using filters, and particularly if you're using neutral density filters, so 10-stop filters, where amazingly, with the filter in place, you can still see through and you can still focus with the filter in place. Having used the X-E2S versus, say, the X-E1, there are some major differences. And one of the key things, of course, is the new autofocus system with the single point, the zone and the wide tracking focus system, which is unbelievable, so quick, so responsive. And it was introduced into the X-T1, now into this new camera as well. And it really is a game changer. It's a quantum leap versus the X-E1, which was fine, but this is even better. I think one of the key benefits as a landscape photographer, where often you'll use manual focus, are the focusing aids within that program. So for example, I would use the focus peaking, where I'll turn the highlights to red. So that is a really useful feature and enables you to get the focus spot on every time. One of the things that really impresses me with Fujifilm is the way that they listen to photographers and take things on board. You know, I believe like no other manufacturer that I'm aware of. You know, an example of that would be constant firmware updates, whereas maybe other manufacturers may well launch you know, Model 2 of a camera and charge more for it. Fuji are very, very good at offering those free upgrades to existing photographers, as well as incorporating them into new models, and that's excellent. I've just completed a major project, which has been the documenting of Thoresby Colliery in Nottinghamshire. So this is the last remaining deep mine in the county, which is closed after hundreds of years of mining. And I've been visiting the colliery for over 9 months, documenting the buildings, the landscape and the people before it closed. And I've used exclusively the Fujifilm cameras for this. And I chose them specifically, not least because of I knew I would get the image quality, which is so important, but also the fact that they are small and they are less intimidating when you're putting a camera in front of someone's face who's not a model, and when you're putting it in a miner's face, you want to make sure that, that you're getting the right reaction and you're not intimidating them, not used to posing in front of a camera. And in that respect, the cameras work perfectly. The image quality was just stunning, and particularly on some formal portraits that I've done using the 56mm lens, the quality of those was absolutely unbelievable. So I've been shooting now Fuji for almost 3 years, and I can honestly say that I've never enjoyed my photography more. And I think that's not only down to the quality of the equipment, the feature set, and the image quality that you get from Fujifilm cameras, but it's the intangible thing, just the enjoyment of using it, the look and the feel, and that's really, really important. And many people will come up to me and ask, you know, what are you shooting, this rangefinder type camera? They want to know more about it. And I can genuinely talk with enthusiasm about the product because, you know, I truly believe in it, really enjoy using it. It's been a great journey for Fujifilm over the last 5 years, developing the X series cameras, and I'm sure there's more to come, so here's to the next 5 years.